This is the time and place for City Commission meeting here in South Dakota, Monday, February 28th, 2022. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Smith is absent. Weinreich?
Here.
Craig?
Here.
Rubish?
Present.
Mayor Harrington?
Here. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Time for agenda approval. Consider anything to change that agenda. Does anybody have any change tonight?
Move to approve the agenda.
Okay, we have a second on that.
Second.
Commissioner Weiner, second. Roll call vote, please.
Weinreich?
Yes.
Craig?
Aye.
Rubish?
Aye.
Harrington?
Aye. Public forum. Public comments may be sent to during the live meeting broadcast on the city's YouTube channel. The link is listed on the city's website at www.huronsd.com/citygovernment. In order to use the YouTube chat feature, please create an account with your YouTube and Gmail or use your existing accounts. Please state your name, address for the record. Public forum is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per person. Tonight, sitting on the computer in the back of the room to answer any questions that you may have or get the questions to us, and so we could answer them, is Mark Johnson. Do we have anything for public forum from the commission? I have one item I need to address. I was approached by an individual that would like to have me mention the fact that it's the springtime of year. We're getting our pass up and running and working on our pass, and people are out walking and running our pass. And if you have your dog out there, please clean up after your dog. Your responsibility for having a dog is to make sure you clean up around it. People don't need to be walking and running on our pass or our streets and have waste from dogs laying there. So take a plastic bag and clean up your dog's mess if you would. We appreciate it. All right, moving on. Consent agenda. Matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and will be acted upon by the commission at one time without discussion, unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address any given item. Items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. Tonight's consent agenda consists of 4.1, minutes of the February 14th, 2022 commission meeting. 4.2, fuel quotes for city departments. 4.3, raffles here in Elks on April 30th at the Elks Lodge, 460 Dakota Avenue South. 4.4, personal items, accept the resignation of the following volunteer firefighters: Kevin Eckman, Randy Newhart, Alex Burkle, and Belinda Songer. 2, recommend hiring Emily Cass for a part-time library clerk position. 4.5, payment of the bills. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve consent.
Commissioner,
Second.
and I need a second.
Second.
Mr. Robish. Roll call vote, please.
Weinreich?
Aye.
Craig?
Aye.
Rubish?
Aye.
Mayor Harrington?
Aye. Thank you. Okay. Big quote items. We have our city engineer with us tonight here, so for 5.1, Brett, would you go through that for us?
Certainly, Mayor. Thank you. 5.1, consider awarding bid number 2022-07, crushing of stockpiled concrete and asphalt. We have reviewed bids from the crushing of stockpiled concrete and asphalt. Flat Rate Inc. of Big Stone City, South Dakota submitted the low bid and meets specification requirements. Their bid was $42,000 even. We had budgeted $80,000 for this. The idea was that if the crushing occurred later in the summer, there'd be a larger pile, And then we thought that we also had some asphalt to crush in the end. But after reevaluating it, when we went out to bid, we realized there was a smaller pile of concrete to crush, and there was no reason to crush the asphalt that we had at the time. So that lowered that cost. So anyways, the bid amount, though, the unit cost was right where we were looking for it. So we recommend award of this bid to Flat Rate Inc.
Okay, do you have a motion on this item?
Move to approve 5.1.
Commissioner Weinrich moved to approve. Need a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Robish. Any discussions for Brett Runge on this? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Weinrich?
Aye.
Bragg?
Aye.
Robish?
Aye.
Mayor Harrington?
Aye. 5.2, Brett.
Consider awarding bid number 2022-14 asphalt concrete crack sealing. We reviewed bids for the asphalt concrete crack sealing project. Lot Pros Inc. of Fergus Falls, Minnesota submitted the low bid and meets our specification requirements. And their bid was $62,498. We had budgeted $63,356 for this project, which doesn't matter a lot there. I mean, we're under budget, but in the end, we just go up to a certain number of what we set for that budget, unless we find a street that really needs our attention for the asphalt crack sealing. So, but we're under budget, which is where we wanted to be. So we recommend award of this bid.
Okay. Need a motion to approve.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Bragg, motion approved. Need a second.
Second.
Commissioner Weinrich says second. Any discussion with Brett on this item? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Weinrich?
Aye.
Bragg?
Aye.
Robish?
Aye.
Mayor Harrington?
Aye. 5.3. Brett, do you have that one?
I sure can. Dale's here too if he has
Oh,
something to add.
Dale, would you like to come up and talk about that?
It's part of that diesel.
Please.
We applied for a grant to help offset the cost of this tractor. It's one of the semis, so what the grant was called, the diesel emission or?
They call it the VW truck program.
We applied for that and were awarded it. One of the things that we did change was motor size and transmission on it, just looking at the problems that we've had with the auto shift right now. We got one in Sioux Falls, still waiting to get the training put in, that last one we bought with the auto shift. So this one we switched to a manual and then bumped up to 500 horse. So the grant, I think we were off $700 after we got adjusted. So by bumping up that motor and changing that training out, so it was about $700 more for that.
The VW truck grant that we were awarded, last year we got 50%. This year they reduced it. We got 35% grant money for the truck. And just to formalize it, basically we have a quote from I-State Truck, which is off from the state bid, and that quote is for $124,469. And we recommend accepting that quote from I-State Truck. That is under the budgeted amount that the city had of $130,000 for this item. And when we budgeted, we were not counting on the VW truck rebate. So that 35% savings of that, well, it's in that range anyways, and is gonna help the city's budget because we're under budget anyways. So.
Okay. Need a motion to approve this item?
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Bragg moved to approve. Second, Commissioner Robish. Any more discussion on this item?
These are great opportunities anytime, they're trucks that we need anyway for the fleet, so we can save that money. It's a nice benefit.
Exactly. Thanks, Dale. Roll call vote, please.
Weinrich?
Aye.
Bragg?
Aye.
Robish?
Aye.
Mayor Harrington?
Aye. All right, we're gonna move on to 5.4. And I think Jesse's here is gonna handle that.
Okay.
Jesse is our golf superintendent, Jesse Hayek.
And, yes, so we had Olson Construction come out there and they met Dennis Bennett out there. And, this kind of dates back to, the culvert that washed out during the flood years, almost 3 years back now. We had a bunch of washout and, so the culvert has been replaced, but in that whole runway of 100 yards or so, everything's washed, built up, can't flow. Worried about maybe the backflow of that and kind of just cleaning it up. So we had Olson's come in, because we didn't, talking to Dennis, didn't think that we had a excavator big enough, city owned. He would come in, kind of just clean it out, haul it there, and then we would end up hauling it away. The cost on hauling it away shouldn't be too bad, because there's actually a hole there that we took dirt from years ago. Can kind of fill that back in. So, I guess the estimate right now that he has is for a $6,500 bid, and, that would, about 20 hours of work is what he's anticipating right now. Trying to get in there maybe when the ground's a little froze yet to, help prevent, tracking it up too bad, but he thinks he can probably get in just on one run, and that's gonna be long enough to be able to clean it on both sides without tearing it up too much. Yeah, like I said, this kind of dates back from a couple years ago with that issue, and just trying to try to clean it up for the golfer's eye and the flow of the water.
Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Commissioner Weinrich approves. Second, Commissioner Robish. Any questions for Jesse on this item?
So one quick question.
Yes, Commissioner
Um,
Weinrich.
Was this in the budget for 2022?
No, it wasn't.
So this will come out of
Out of the
general
general.
fund?
This is
reserve?
general fund dollars, yeah, they consider it maintenance.
And did we just get one quote, or is there any other
I think
places
that's
that's?
the only quote we got, is when Dennis met him out there. And Brian kind of was involved with it too, which obviously he's not here tonight, but,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Jesse, appreciate it. Okay, we need a roll call vote on this item.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Okay, we're moving on to petitions and communications. Tucker, do you have 6.1? Tucker Gillespie, our city attorney, is here tonight.
Ken, thank you, Mayor. 6.1, consider memorandum of understanding with Dakota provisions regarding wastewater treatment and surcharge rates. In accordance with our discussion last week, I've revised that memorandum, taking out, which was the first item regarding a 3- and 5-year plan. Everything else remains the same. I would just note, as to the signatory for Dakota Provisions, we've changed his title to reflect President and CEO, as we believe that that is his title.
Okay. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr.
Second.
Bragg, and second by Commissioner Weinrich. Any questions for Tucker on this item?
I would add, I don't think it's in the packet. This is unsigned, but, the first time, this is really an amendment of this MOU that we already discussed, and we were just updating it because there had been a few changes. But we did receive signed copies of both of these documents now, so if the mayor moves ahead and signs them this time, they will be fully binding, because we have had both documents, even though the version in the packets are not signed, I don't think, but we did get
You
signatures.
got them out of the packet.
Yes, correct.
Commissioner Robish?
Thank you, Mayor. And I guess, I think my question will be answered with 6.2. That came out of there also then, so that we're not all 100%.
So, are you talking about 6.2, the other memorandum?
Let's vote on this one first,
Yeah.
then we'll go to 6.2.
Yeah.
I think you'll cover it, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we have a roll call vote on this item, please.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Pass, okay. Now we'll go to 6.2. Tucker, can you explain that one to us, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. 6.2, consider memorandum of understanding with Dakota Provisions regarding a preliminary engineering report with Banner Associates, Inc. Again, in accordance with our discussion 2 weeks ago now, the only change here is that Dakota Provisions will be paying for the cost of the preliminary engineering report, and the city of Huron will agree to reimburse Dakota Provisions for one half of the cost.
Okay, need a motion to approve?
I approve.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Okay, need a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Weinrich. Okay, now, questions?
Well, that was all in our, all together at first, right, until we discussed that.
They were still two separate, but yeah, essentially all of the things that we looked at changing during our work session last time were changed and were subsequently approved by Dakota Provisions.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions? Brett, do you have any questions on this item?
Not at this time, I guess.
Okay.
Just, if this is approved, my understanding is city needs to move forward with Banner and getting them to make this agreement, with Dakota Provisions, because right now what was provided was to the city, so
Okay.
with this approval, can move forward with that, then
Okay.
understood.
All right. Yes, Commissioner
Point
Weinrich.
of clarification on this 6.2, it still does say chairman of the board. I'm assuming the ones we have back, though, that's been corrected.
Yeah, Rich, you got, that's correct. That was an error that went out. On the document that's signed, it should reflect president's.
Yeah, we caught it before, this was the original version as drafted, but we caught it before we sent it to him and it was signed correctly.
Any other discussion on 6.2? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Weinrich?
Aye.
Wright?
Aye.
Rowland?
Aye.
Mayor Harrington?
Aye. Moving on to ordinances and resolutions. Tucker Valesky, I'm going to call on you again for 7.1, please.
All right, Mayor, 7.1, resolution number 2022-02, authorizing the mayor and Parks and Recreations Director to execute and file a Land and Water Conservation Fund application grant for Memorial Baseball Park lighting renovation.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Move to approve, Commissioner Ray. Second, Commissioner Robish. I see we have our Park and Rec Director here tonight. Do you have anything to add to this, Chad?
Thank you, Mayor. No, this is just a grant that we're gonna resubmit to renovate our lights. It's a LWCF grant, 50% match. We have money set aside. It'll be in the 2023 budget. So if we get the grant, we'll be able to move forward with the project, so.
And yeah, just for clarification, so this is one we all remember we worked on before. We actually previously approved to apply for this grant. Unfortunately, the wording of the grant, as previously written before Chad came on board, was unclear. The grant looked as though it was only a partial project, and so we were denied. And that's essentially what Chad did, is clarify the language so that it did state that this was a complete relighting, which we believe now should allow us to qualify. But so this is really just, we actually already thought we were gonna have this done before. We put everything through, we approved it, and then unfortunately the grant was denied. So now with Chad's work, getting it up to snuff, we should hopefully get it approved this time. And this would allow us, as you guys all remember that conversation about getting those light poles out of the playing surface. That's specifically what this would address. So those structures that could be a hazard would be replaced with this.
Would be a hazard.
Mayor Harrington, they have been a hazard.
Yeah, man. You've just been rolling the dice on this deal. Okay, thanks, Chad.
Yep, thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Weinrich?
Aye.
Wright?
Aye.
Rowland?
Aye.
Mayor Harrington?
Aye. Last one on is departmental items. I don't have anybody written down on this.
I
It's,
can
Okay, Commissioner Bragg will talk about 8.1.
So this came out of some work that the Get Fit Committee has been working on. We would apply for a grant, again, it could be up to $2,000. It sounds like in the past, it's been less than that, but specifically, we have done this before. It's a full 100% grant, so there wouldn't be any cost from the city. And what we're looking at this point as applied would be some sort of an employee health challenge. So we would put forth something like a bingo card or a competition to be more active or eat healthier food. And this program would allow us to pay for the cost of putting that on and incentives we could provide. So it's just a part of helping our workforce at the city to live a healthier lifestyle. But again, if approved, it would be 100% grant. There would be no match from the city.
I know for the last 12 years, we put in for it every year. And we've gotten everything from 2,000 to 1,500, so we were fortunate just to get that. And the Get Fit committee goes about and puts on all the procedures and utilizes that money really well. So we appreciate that. Any other questions for this item? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
I'll get a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Move to approve 8.1.
Second.
Yep, second, and a second by Commissioner Bragg, okay? Now we have a roll call vote.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Colish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. That is the end of our meeting tonight, and we'll have a longer one next week, believe me.